Good evening. My name is Thurman Greco, and the name of this program is Let's Live with Thurman Greco, and it's coming to you from scenic downtown Woodstock on Channel 23, and it's also coming to you from YouTube. And we're having a very special program this evening. Our flea market, our iconic flea market, which opens every summer and has been doing so for over 50 years, has closed for the season. And it's a community. And it's a community of all of the people who have booths and who have all of the vendors and all of the shoppers. And we do some fun things there. And of course, not everybody participates in all of them. One of the things we do is we sing songs at 5 o'clock. Is that one of the things that we do?
Yeah, we sing.
We sing songs at 5, and I'm a tuneless wonder, so I don't sing any music. But so we have decided to have a sort of a ceremonial ending show here to end this season, because this was a good season for us. Because sometimes when people are stressed, or they're lost, or they're confused, or they're trying to make decisions, one of the things they do is walk through the market. And that's one of the things we do, is we provide therapy for people who are trying to make decisions. And also we spend our winters making things, and then we try to sell them. But can we start off with, can you introduce yourself first?
Yeah, I'm Gary. I've been out to John's flea market for about 13 years. I do a lot of the peace signs. I do little mushrooms, a lot of my own artwork. I don't know what else. People seem to like the peace signs. I'm located the third or fourth booth as you come in on the right-hand side, and I've been there 13 years.
That's a good record.
Yeah.
Have you been there longer than anybody else at this point?
No, Suzanne's been longer. Dorothy's been there longer.
Now, Suzanne has the
Essential oils.
oils
incense.
And incense.
Yeah, all that stuff.
And she makes the crowns and things.
The crowns.
Okay, now who else, and how long has she been there? Do we know?
I don't know. I just know
A
she's
long
been there
time.
longer
She's
than
been
me.
there a long time.
Yeah.
And then who else has been there for a long time?
Dorothy and Jill, the first ones as you come in, right next to John and Janine.
Yeah, they are an institution.
Yeah, they were like one of the very first ones.
Yeah, they've been coming there. And that's a woman and her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So is Dorothy the mother?
Yes.
And Jill is the daughter, and they've been setting up for years. And I've been coming here for a while, but I haven't kept track. Isn't that awful? I think maybe it's 6 years, but it could have been 2. Who knows? and how long have you been coming to?
I think the first time was in June, so since June. So I'm pretty new, and I didn't start coming regularly until July, because that's when John said that's when all the people are going to come. From July, 4th of July through Labor Day, that is the time to be at the market. So I started coming pretty much almost every weekend. And I don't really have a usual place, but as you said last time, I made it to like the 5th Avenue of the flea market, which is the front row. And sometimes I'm next to Gary, sometimes I'm next to Olga, who does ceramics, sometimes I'm next to, why am I forgetting her name? Jan, who does the jewelry. And I have my cat art. So luckily for me, there's no other cat artist at the flea market right now. Maybe next year will be different. So I do cat paintings, and I sell reproductions of my work on t-shirts like this, on greeting cards and other stuff. And I also do commissions. And so I'm the cat lady. So I think people will remember me for that.
Well, we had another one during the pandemic that she named her booth for the love of cats.
No, Katrina, smitten for kitten.
Smitten for Kittens, that was what it was. And she had some really cute things too. But I think she moved away after
Yeah,
a
she
couple
moved
of
to
years.
Florida, and I think she's in Texas now, but,
Oh, God.
Yeah, and it's funny because when I first moved to this area 4 years ago, I did go to the flea market when I first moved there, and I met her, and I have some of her stuff. But I would never think that I would be doing this just like she was at all. It was never my, like, even a thought in my head. So it's really very odd to me that I've become her now. So.
but you don't do the cat speak.
I don't. Everyone's been trying to teach me, but fortunately or unfortunately, my memory is not so good for retaining new information right now because I'm kind of burned out from retaining things. So I have not adopted the cat speak. You know.
What do you mean by cat speak?
Yes, please give us some examples,
Yeah.
Gary.
What do you mean by cat speak?
Katrina talked cat speak at the market.
Oh, did she really? Oh, I
And Linda
completely
thought it was
missed
really
that.
weird when everybody walked up to her when she first came in. We started talking cat speak to her. It's
And
like-
she didn't know what you were saying.
Oh, well, I guess I didn't find it weird, but I couldn't respond because I just don't have that vocabulary. I never learned that vocabulary, so, yeah.
Well, for example, she would call John and Janine, the Mowers, she would refer to them as the Meowers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I couldn't pick up on that
And it
either.
went on all day long.
Yeah.
The little
With
kids
any-
loved it,
Yeah,
but
with any conversation, right, she could sneak
Yes.
it in, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it-
cute.
It takes a little time, so, but I think I have other things to learn before I reach that point.
Well, and so you've been there for 1 year, one season, and you've been all along this one street, this one path
I was,
in
yeah,
the flea.
the majority of the time, yeah, I got lucky that that John was willing to put me up there, so.
Well, you know, he does move people around, and he moves them around until they find a place that they like to be.
or that he likes you to be too.
Yeah.
John's good at placing people around similar people that they kind of work off of each other too, where it works well.
Yeah, my first day was actually next to you, so I was in the back by the fence.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the first day. It's right next to you. I don't know if you remember that.
It's all a blur, you know. But you get to know a lot of different people, and I think I've got some neighbors now that if they come back, they may be by me, you know, some regulars, but I'm not real sure. But it doesn't matter because that's how you get to meet people. And then, of course, we have other things happening too, because in the winter, we all design things for the coming year. You know, I'm working on my third book, tarot book, but I have to tell you, I don't think I'm going to have it finished. I don't think so. I think I'm going to have to put it off I mean, I've been working on it every day, but what can I say? I just don't know at this point. It should be further along than it is. And what are you working on for next season?
Well, I'm still working on this season because there's a couple craft shows coming up. The Historical Society in Woodstock's coming up December 6th, and Linda got into that this year also.
Ah,
she'll be
so
doing
you're going
that
to be
too.
there with your kitty cats.
Yes.
Very nice.
And I also have the Wallkill River School down by me, and they both fall on the same day. But I don't have to be in Woodstock, so I can do them both. I just have to split the merchandise, you know, between the two shows.
Well, you know, that is true. I think at the Woodstock Historical Society, they don't expect you to stay.
No, they sell the stuff for you.
Right.
Just take a commission.
They don't have space. You know, if they're going to have the merchandise, then you got to go and stand outside. So just don't come, you know, because they need the merchandise and not, you know, or that's what I think is happening.
Yeah.
So you're going to just drop off what are you going to drop off? Your stationery?
Yeah, I think the cards, some t-shirts, some mugs. I think a little bit of everything. I may even bring some originals, so that's something that actually achieved. It's one of my accomplishments in terms of the flea market season. I had no artwork up because I'm like, I don't know if anyone's going to be into that, or even the idea of making art prints was not some. I was like, I just didn't feel confident, you know. And you see, like Edie with her art, that's all she has is like prints and originals. And I was like, I don't think I'm there yet, or I don't know if people will see me that way with this cat stuff. So by the end of the season at Mowers Market, I put up like 3 of my paintings in my tent. So as silly as that sounds, that was an accomplishment. So I might start bringing originals and trying to sell those as well.
Now, you said Edie does a lot of art. Well, what booth does Edie have?
She has the inner child art. It's a colorful one.
Yes.
Right.
She has a lot of red in her booth. She uses a lot of red in her work. Well, one of the things that has happened this year is that, and nobody knows this, you don't know this if you're not a vendor, is we write a story every market day. And by that I mean there is a clipboard that goes around, and when that clipboard appears at your booth, it is your turn to write something. And then at the end of the day, we have a story, which is an amazing thing.
And Linda's the one that started that.
And we have a song that we all sing at 5 o'clock, which my birthday, you sang happy birthday to me. The whole world was falling apart at 5 o'clock, and everybody was singing happy birthday. So, we have these traditions, and we also have traditions that we get hot dogs at the hot dog stand. I mean, I don't necessarily even eat hot dogs, but my husband loves them, so he gets 2. He gets one for him and one for me, and he eats them both, and he loves it. And then we also do the vegetables and the fruit. Do you guys get the fruit and the vegetables?
No, I don't, but I know a lot of people come in, just looking for, I think his name's Eric, is the vegetable guy, just looking for him. Well, his brother sold there for years and years until he passed away a couple years ago. Now Eric comes down and does it.
Well, the thing is that I resisted getting the fruits and vegetables for years, and I really missed out. And the reason I did that was because I was afraid I'll buy this stuff and then something will happen and I'll leave a bag of it in the car and then it'll start smelling and carrying on. So I really resisted it. And then one day I really needed some fruits and vegetables, and I thought, well, shoot, surely I won't forget it this time. And so I bought some, and they tasted so beautiful. I mean, it was so lovely to get that quality of food that now I do not have to worry about leaving it in the car, because it's not gonna, I'm so happy to have the fruits and vegetables. So what are we gonna do first? Can you share this first?
Well, this is just a couple of things that I'm going to have at the Historical Society. So the little snowmen are new this year, so I'll have some of those out. And then my mushrooms that I do at the market, that I have some of those out for the holidays. And
The thing about these mushrooms, they are different sizes and different colors, and oh my gosh, look at the detail in that. And if I had a tree, it would have a lot of these mushrooms on it. I'm not a tree person, and haven't been a tree person since my daughters became adolescents, and I discovered that I'm not a tree person. But before that, I had all kinds of things, but I think a mushroom tree would be absolutely darling, because you have such adorable colors.
I have one man and woman that's been coming through the market, and they just told me recently this summer, they come through a couple times a year, and they usually buy 2 mushrooms, and I think he said he's up to like 14 mushrooms now, and they have a thing in their window that they're hanging them all from, and every time they come to the market, they buy a couple and they're adding it.
Oh my
So,
God,
I
they
have
have
like-
a collection.
Yeah, they have a collection of my mushrooms in their house.
Oh, how cute.
And they leave them up all year long. They don't use them for Christmas. They have them in the one window. He made a board that he hangs them off of, and he said he actually has to make another board now because the one board's getting filled. And
Because they are really cute. Well, how did this happen? And I know, you didn't just think this, isn't there a story about this? How did this happen? The happy face.
Princess Wow, who I don't know if I think you know, because you were going to have, I think you were going to have her on the show one time. Her whole thing, she has a podcast, and she's a performance artist and a comedian.
Oh,
Her
yeah.
whole thing is the Smile Revolution, and the smile face is one of her things. And I was doing little ones, and she bought my peace signs, and I did one with a smile or something on it. And she always stops at the table, her and Roland Musa, her ex-husband, who's a Woodstock, iconic guy in Woodstock. And I told her one day, because they always buy stuff and they always stop and talk, and I said, I want to make you a smile face. And she said, well, how much? I said, no, I just want to make you one and give it to you, because that's your whole thing, Smile Revolution. So I made her one. She came up and picked it up, and I got thinking, I should sell these. And she said too, you should sell the smile faces. So I started doing them, but it came just from giving one away to Princess Wow.
Yeah, she came up to me and introduced me to the ex-husband.
Yeah, Roland.
And Roland was going to be on my show, and then he took off for something, and I haven't seen him since. But
Yeah,
if you
South
ever,
Dakota, because he's a Native American Indian.
right, and I remember that years ago, I came to either a Thanksgiving or a Christmas dinner here in Woodstock, and he did the invocation, which was an amazing thing. And of course then, that was my first year here, so I didn't know who or what or anything, but I was really sorry when he took off before I could have him on the show, because he would be lovely on the show.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy. He did a lot of work. Pete Seeger actually took him under his wing when he first moved up here. And he did a lot of stuff with the sloop Clearwater. He was one of the first guys that helped Pete, get the sloop Clearwater going on the Hudson. So he's a lot of stories regarding Pete.
Yeah, it would have been an interesting show. So he'll just have to show up in town one more time and let me, lasso him in. But yeah, that's true. I have had this show for many, many years, and I have had so many people on this show, but there is an equal number of people that almost made it into the show but didn't. They just missed. And who knows? Who knows what future is there for them? And I have all of these spots that are available, and especially since the vacancies that we created this summer. But that's what the shows are all about. The ones that make it, and the ones that, for whatever reason, have to postpone. And then, of course, in the winter, we also have a couple of meetings coming in, in the winter, where we all sit around and chat about what we're cooking up for the next year. And that's an important thing, because we are a culture. I have never been able to get myself into anybody else's show. In other words, I don't do any of the holiday shows. I don't do any of the pop-ups, or every time I try, there's never any openings. But now you're doing
Historical Society and Walkout River School in Montgomery.
And you are doing?
Tomorrow I'll be at Wraparound Services, and then the week after, Regina Chele, is that how you pronounce it? I think so, in Hyde Park. And then Twin Stars Orchards in New Paltz, and then Marbletown Elementary School, and then Art Court in Kingston, and then Cannonball Factory, and then Saugerty Senior Center.
How did you find those places?
A lot of many hours on the internet. Probably too obsessive. This is where my research skills come in.
Oh, girl,
Yes.
I can hardly find the on button on my computer, and you do that really well.
Like, yeah, well, I'm trying to do my best. So my best means to, at least at the very minimum, fill my calendar and see how things go, because you don't know until you try. So my weekends are filled from now until December 20th. So I won't get to see any friends until after that.
Listen, your slouching off, girl.
Yeah.
Because January and February are big show months in this town,
Are
or
they?
in this area.
Yeah?
Are they?
Well, yeah, the Saugerties High School has, the French Club has a big show.
Oh, yeah.
And I keep hearing about all these shows that people have in the winter. And you haven't done, have you done any of the Walkway Over the Hudson shows?
Not yet, so not yet. I know there are also a whole different categories of shows, like the art fairs. I haven't even gotten started in looking at those bigger events, and like the Garlic Festival. Those are things that are, hopefully I can try some of those next year, so
Oh my gosh.
it's kind of
It's a
endless.
whole world that I'm missing. Well, you know, one of the reasons, I tell you, I'm going to blame part of it on my daughter. She keeps reminding me that tarot is not universally accepted. And it's kind of a cutting edge thing. And she says, but Mother, what if somebody tells you no? What if and of course they tell me no all the time. That's why I don't have any, but I'm busy enough. And so we also have the 5 o'clock songs. Who's in charge of the 5 o'clock song?
Martin started that.
And who picks the songs out?
We kind of, at the end, after the end of the song that evening, then Martin says, well, what are we going to do next week? And then we toss it around the field. But Olga never knows what songs we're going to sing until we sneak up on her at 5 o'clock. That's a rule that we don't let Olga know.
And there's one week that was interesting because, so I also sing songs in my class. I do a virtual theater class and we do a sing-along. And it's nice because you just click mute and you can only hear yourself, you know, because we're online. But one week we did the same song at the market and with my class. It's very odd, right? The chances of picking the exact same song. And it was a song that I wasn't that familiar with.
What
but
was it?
John Denver.
Oh, jet plane, leaving on a jet plane.
Yes. And it's like, I've actually never heard it the whole way through, but, you know, I asked my partner, it's like, I need a song for class, what do you think? And he's like, how about John Denver? And then so it all happened the same week, which is very, very odd. That it wasn't a different John Denver song, it was that one. The only other song I knew was what is it? Oh, now I'm forgetting the name. But I actually knew one other song of his, but I decided randomly to do that other one. And it was the same one, same week.
Oh my God. Well, and we're going to keep that up for next year, I'm sure, because I
Right.
think you guys had a wonderful time doing the songs.
The songs have been going on for a couple of years now.
Oh, have they really? It's
Yeah.
getting to be a tradition.
Yeah.
I never connected to the songs because I can't carry a tune.
Neither can we.
And I really
It sounded
ruin
very
music.
Let's just say it's the song, even though it was the same song, it sounded very different than when we did it in class. So it's all good.
Worse.
It's all good.
Yeah, it did sound, I actually did recognize them, like the lyrics are the same, but it doesn't sound the same at all when we were singing it.
But nobody
a cappella.
seems to care.
No, that's why it was fascinating. It was a really like kind of almost out of body experience. It's like, is it me or?
Too bad we don't have somebody playing a harmonica to accompany us, or a tuba or something.
Carol actually came over and played on her guitar one time when we did a song. I don't remember what song it was now, but she brought her guitar over and actually accompanied us.
Oh, and
on
Martin
her
never
guitar.
asked her. We should just pick a song that she knows that she can play.
Yeah, and what can you play, Carol? Give us your lineup, and we can do that. Well, so there are a lot of things that we do in the flea market that are a lot of fun, in addition to all of the setting up and greeting the people and getting to know people and that kind of thing. And I would imagine now that you're with the cats, I bet you're picking up a lot of very interesting stories.
Oh, it's endless, yes. Almost like I just feel glad that I am able to be with people when they tell me their stories, because if I had done this like 10, 15 years ago, I probably wouldn't be able to even be present with them. So I feel grateful that they're telling me their stories that are all very, very personal, right? Because it has to do with their family members, like animals are family members too. and they really just let it out, you know.
That's a
any-
book there. You
Yeah,
have a
it
book.
is. I have many books from the flea market, actually. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the customer that made you and Sarah cry?
oh, no, it wasn't, it wasn't
Wasn't it Sarah? I
No,
thought Sarah
so, so Sarah is the leather maker. She makes leather belts and purses and things. And the first time I was next to her, the very first customer I had of the day, she was telling me about her cat, and so many other people had told me about their cats who had passed, but somehow, whatever was going on, I was really feeling her, and I started crying, and then because I started crying, then she started crying, and then we were crying for like 20 minutes. And after this customer left, and there were still customers coming in, and it was very, very kind of strange, but I apologized to Sarah. I was like, Sarah, this is the first time it's happened. This doesn't happen every single time a customer comes to my tent. I swear it's not. But it was hilarious that was the first experience that she had being next to me, because it was, obviously she could hear us, you know. And at that time I didn't have any sidewalls up either, so she could see everything and hear everything and feel everything.
There was no privacy.
No, but we were just, me and that customer, we were just, you know, in this bubble of like emotion.
How important do you think those sidewalls are?
Well, I think for my clothes, yes, I like to use them because they keep out the sun. But it does close, it's interesting because it creates a specific space, you know? And I think sometimes people do feel safer or, you know, more focused on where they're at when they're walking into a place that has walls. But it also closes you off, right, to people next to you. So when I have it, I do have the wall up now, or the last few markets I did, and I actually didn't end up talking to the other vendor next to me because of that wall. So I would love not to use it, but you know, it's good to change things up too and not do everything the same every time. So it depends.
I don't have sidewalls. And for one thing, I just am not, I think that a true vendor, if you really are into the vendor ethos, that you really enjoy setting things up and taking them down. Is that true?
I like the setting up better than the taking down, because sometimes you're really, really tired.
I don't
By the
like
end of
doing
the
either
day.
one, truthfully. So I don't. And the closest thing I have to walls are those flags that flap in the breeze. And I didn't have those until the rug merchant bought them and gave them to me as a gift. But one of the reasons that I don't have any sidewalls is the fact that I really don't want to be totally isolated when I read the tarot.
And your tent is smaller than everyone else's too, so that's different. If you put a wall, it would be very closed off.
It would be like in a closet or something. So, but now I have two tents, and for a while I didn't have any tent. The first couple of years that I had the flea market, I didn't even have a tent. I saw everybody putting those tents up in the morning, and I looked around, and it was like, I don't think I can do that. And then somebody talked me into a little one, and I found a little one that was so cheap that I thought, well, if I can't figure out how to get it up, it's not going to break the bank. So then that's what I did. I did it, and so now I have tents. But
Well, they've been trying to talk me into one for 13 years, Thurman.
well,
And
but
it's not happening.
your stuff does not melt with the rain either. I mean, that's an important thing. When I first started out, I had a lot of clothes because I was raising money to feed the hungry, and several people went to their closets and completely emptied them for me. And I had all of these lovely clothes and I didn't have a tent. I didn't even have tables. I didn't have anything. And it was just a real mess. But I've come along. So we also have, I want to go back to this because I'm kind of intrigued by this. These are the stories.
Yes.
Who starts the story each week?
Initially, I started them just to make it easier and get people comfortable, but different people have started them. It's usually probably someone within that Fifth Avenue row.
Ah.
Because I think they feel more obligation to participate because
Really?
I'm physically closer to them. I think that's part of it. Yes.
It's not an obligation. You're just over on the cool side
Well,
now.
it's hard to say no
You're
if
on
I'm
the
just
cool
right
side.
across from them or right next to them, So, but people have said no, which is fine.
You're
but,
with the hip crowd over on that side now.
Well, now, what is the thought behind this?
So a lot of people have their own interpretations of this activity, and that is totally fine. It is what it is. But this activity, all it is that one person starts a story and adds a sentence, passes it on to the next person. They add a sentence to the story, and you keep passing it on. And if you don't want to write, you can skip and just give it to someone else. But I have not written any other rules when I'm giving out this activity. All I say is just add a sentence or more and pass it on, and that's it. So whatever the story is, it is. I never write a theme or anything or any restrictions, but I think next year I will put some topics that we're going to try to avoid because there have been some common themes. So I generally don't like to control any of that, but I bet even if I put restrictions on it, I think people are still going to write what they write, and that's part of the fun of it. You don't ever know where it's going to go, and it's up to whoever wants to write if they want to make the story make sense or not, or take in a different direction. So sometimes it goes sideways, and some people want it to be a cohesive story. Some people don't care, and it's all fine. It all works.
The story that was my favorite, and I really didn't participate in a lot of these. There were a lot of these stories floating around that just went right by me. But I love the one where the last line was, she took a bubble bath instead. Do you remember that story?
Yes, it was very unexpected, and I think it was the very first one. It's perhaps the very first one. Was it the crow? No.
The crow? Was there a story about a crow?
Yeah, this was Lucy and the Crow. That was the very first
That
one.
was the very first one. Let me look for the bubble bath. I think it was the crow, right, that had the bubble bath?
No, yeah, here it is.
Yes, it's the very. And that one?
Yes.
But the windows had bars, so she gave up and took a bubble bath.
Yes.
Would you like to read that?
Okay. It's called Lucy and the Crow, a collaborative story by the vendors at Mowers Saturday and Sunday Flea Market, written on Sunday, August the 17th, 2025. Once upon a time, there was a bread maker named Lucy. Lucy wasn't her real name. If her real name and past life were known, no one would buy her bread. But her bread was magically enticing. People would come from miles away, feverishly tempted by the aromas emanating from Lucy's bakery. Lucy in the sky with diamonds, perhaps. One could say the aromas were as tempting as a shiny diamond. They are a girl's best friend. One day, a crow caught the scent and decided to visit Lucy's bakery. The crow swept down and stole the bread, and as he began to eat the bread, he slowly felt reality shifting. Art is the expression of a creative mind. Rumi. He felt his wings weep, and as he flew away from the bakery, he began to spiral towards the dark forest. Deep in the trees, he saw a nice fluffy fern to rest and recover from the obviously laced loaf he ate. When he flew home, he felt a strongly worded review of the bakery and contacted the authorities. The Druid Committee sat under a blood moon for hours and finally hired the crow to be a messenger for their own magical bread. The bread turned into a dragon and flew away, taking Lucy to a tall castle. She flew through the haunted corridors for hours, longing to return to the forest. And finally, she found an open window at the very top of the dark tower. But the windows had bars, so she gave up and gave a bubble bath. Isn't that adorable? I just thought that was the cutest story. But then, they're all adorable. And these, this is the beginning of a book here.
Yeah, when we have enough, and I didn't have a chance yet, but I will add some illustrations to it and post it on the Facebook page. So that
Oh,
people
how
can enjoy it.
adorable.
Yeah.
For the Mowers Meadow Flea Market?
Yeah, I think, I mean, there's definitely a lot of images within these stories, so I thought that
Oh,
would be fun
yeah.
to do.
I think that was one of the things about this was the images of it. It was a very visual story. It was very visual. So, how many people usually participate in this?
What do you think, Gary? Like 10, maybe?
Oh, at a minimum.
Yeah, at least 10.
Yeah.
Let's see. 10 to 15. I think one day we got maybe 20 because we started the story on a Saturday and continued on a Sunday.
For the weekend.
Yeah, we did a whole week instead of one day, so.
Well, now, would you do that again, or do you prefer the day by day?
I think day by day is easier just to, in terms of keeping track of who wrote. Because sometimes it gets circulated back.
To the same
To the same
person,
people.
it's, oh, I did that already, and,
Well,
so I think the one day thing works better.
do we have another story that we would like to choose?
Do you have a favorite, Gary? I actually don't quite remember them.
How about the last one from the last day of the flea market?
All right. And there are probably typos on that one.
Oh, nobody cares about the typos.
Okay, so this was from October 25th, 2025, which was the last day of the flea market, and it's called A Clown, Fairy, and Hamster. It was the final day of the flea market. All was well until a crazy clown started running around the field. He was honking his red, bulbous nose and yelling out, "I'm Prince Floppy Shoes, and I'm in search of bargains." Everyone dove out of his way, as he was neither cautious nor careful about who he careened into. The fairy princess zipped next to Hugh and fed him clotted cream, strawberries, and scones. The azure blue sky went swirling in joy. Soon Susan realized she must have taken the wrong medication this morning, as she was really looking at her husband mowing the lawn. There was no clown or fairy princess to be seen. But who switched her medicine? Was it her pet hamster Brutus? Brutus was known for playing tricks on everyone in the family. He once locked Susan's daughter in their room and hid her husband's car keys. Brutus was also known for being a crazy clown. Looking around, she realized that Brutus was having a very bad, no good day. Lucky and Graffiti were chasing him and had him penned under a bookcase. They had specified specific intentions of attack at exactly the moment he looked out from his hidden corner. As he ran across the room, they chased along with ill intentions. Everything worked out fine, though, because Lollipop chased them away. Escape, Brutus hid under the sofa. Suddenly, a customer came by and woke me up from this crazy dream. She bought several items, and so did her friend. Soon large groups of people started coming through, were buying from all the vendors. Great last day for all.
That's cute. I love that. Lollipop and Graffiti. That sounds like maybe I know who wrote that particular part.
Yes.
Yeah, was not me, but I know who it was. Now, do we have another story that we'd like to pick?
I think either, you know what, I guess I have to read the cat lady one.
Oh,
that
good.
I had. So there's one more, and somehow I don't think it's here, the one that I liked, but about the math test. for some reason. But I'll read the cat lady one because this was about me.
And that was supposed to be, you talk about how they change. The original intention, because Suzanne came up with the first line for that, and she said, let's do a murder mystery.
Ooh.
Well, it didn't become a murder mystery, it went its own way.
Okay, so this one's called 9 Lives, and it was written on October 19th. The crazy cat lady was murdered on Sunday. Her body was found face down with a cat cleaning its paws while sitting on her back. Bloody paw prints littered the crime scene. Yet, she had 9 lives. By the time she got to the hospital, she was starting to breathe again and her wounds were healed. When she got home, her door was locked and her favorite cat, Catnip Everdeen, was in the window smirking. Suddenly, she heard a noise behind her, and to her horror, it was Snoop Cat and Escobar, the leaders of the feared gang, the Whisker Warriors. I've been hearing about a lot of treats that ain't being dispensed around here, and that ain't right, Escobar said. Now see this here fishbowl? It's awful close to the edge of the counter. It would be a shame if someone happened to come along and give it a nudge with their tail, wouldn't it? As he spoke, Snoop Cat was getting dangerously close to the fishbowl and its Piscean content, and it was awful close to the ledge. The bowl dropped from the ledge, but right before it smashed, the ground morphed into a vast ocean. Baffled, yet intrigued, Snoop Cat jumped into the ocean to see where it led. Snoop Cat was suddenly swimming with the dolphins in the ocean. They swam and played in the ocean until suddenly, Snoop Cat landed on a beautiful tropic island. He looked around and saw that it was a beach with beautiful parrots in bright colors. And the fauna and flora that covered the island were cats and catnip. Snoop Cat had landed in cat heaven. It was all imaginary. It was just a cat dream. Snoop Cat was actually just off in dreamland. However, Crazy Cat Lady does have 9 lives and 99 cats. And it continues. Let's continue. We can finish this. Okay. Eventually, Crazy Cat Lady's neighbors had had enough. The awful smell, evening cat fights, dead birds, etc. After numerous calls to the village hall and no action to rectify the situation, the neighbors took matters into their own hands. They dressed in hazmat suits and entered the property with shovels and trash bags. Soon the litter was all disposed of and the property smelled sweet and fresh. The yard was cleaned and a kiddie playground was built. A gate with the toll booth stood at the entrance, and people from all over the world paid to visit Kitty Cat Heaven. The end.
Oh, how cute.
So this was a long one.
These stories they're each one different, and they're just as cute as they can be. I'm very excited now that you're going to put these up on the flea market. Yeah. Oh, wow. That's Facebook.
Yep, I will be posting. I think I'm trying to I have all these things I want to do. One of the things I want to explore is doing comic books and just basically doing any kind of other art, because right now I'm just doing acrylic paintings. I also want to go into color pencils and make cat tarot cards. But anyway, so this will be a good practice just to do some simple sketches and see how I like doing some digital design.
Wow. Wow. Well, you know, that's very interesting because to me, art is it's very scary. We had a guest here, a young guest, to do art on the show that what she was 5, 7,
5.
5.
She's 7
She
now,
was 5
yeah.
and she's 7 now. And I mean, that kid could run circles. And I was just totally, it didn't work out too well. And now I'm beginning to get a little bit of courage toward maybe doing a couple of simple drawings for my tarot book. Just simple drawings that even if they're so bad, they'll be so simple that nobody will realize it. You know, that's what I'm working toward, getting my courage up. Because that's what happens when you go to the flea market, you get your courage up every week. I mean, look, all of this every week, and it's different people every week, isn't it?
like definitely different people. Well, this is the easy part actually for me, and this is the fun, and like it's not stressful. I don't have to remember anything. Like, oh, did I forget that table? You know, there's none of that. It's just here's some paper, and here's a pen, and that's kind of all you need.
Okay, okay. Well, and I noticed that you had one of these that had the plant lady. We have the lady that has the plants, the air plants.
I think it was this. I think it was a Sam the tree. It must have been.
Oh, Sam, the leafy, is that the plant lady?
I think so. This is definitely the earthy one because it is about a tree.
Because you know, we do have that, what is the name of the woman that has the plants?
Donna.
She's been coming for years, hasn't she?
She's one
Yeah,
of the
this is-
older vendors,
Now, I
one of the more
heard,
original ones.
I heard through the grapevine, it may not be true, that she goes down to Florida in the
Yeah, she
winter.
does.
She really does. She
Yeah.
takes all those air plants and goes down to Florida?
She either takes them down there or she brings them up here. I don't know which.
Well, oh,
which way it
okay, so
works.
she's primarily
Yeah.
from Florida, and she just comes up here for
Well,
the summer.
well, I'm not sure, you know.
Yeah, one of the two. It's amazing. And then she stands there and just as nonchalant, just like it was anybody could do it, she holds up one of these little plants and she's got these scissors and she goes snip, 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 snip. And she says, this is how you take care of them. And of course, by then I'm gone, man. I'm at the other part of the flea market. But they are so beautiful. Oh my gosh.
I think those are the easiest plants to kill because it's easy to overwater because they need so little water, but then they still need something to stay alive. So,
Well,
Yeah.
but my question is, what if you cut them the wrong way? I mean, I don't know. It's just overwhelming. It's just, that's how it goes. So this is the one that has the plants.
yep, then it's at the very end.
In a land far, far away, there was a tree named Sam. He was healthy, leafy, tall, and handsome, but he had a fungus. It was a bit mossy and green. He did his best with what he got. Many of the other woodland creatures loved him, and a select few feared his vengeful wrath. Because he was a young sapling, inexperienced and immature, the old wood crone told him of an event that she foresaw in his future. Leafy Green was full of himself and looked into the deep forest pool. Splash! He fell into his own reflection and emerged, understanding that he would grow to be a mighty oak. Roots of trees keep you grounded. Go hug a tree. Sam stood tall and strong. He never fought the wind and always swayed with it, knowing that it would pass and knowing that it would make him stronger. But he read about defunding the national parks and was so stressed out that no one would be there to protect him and the nature around him that he fell into a deep depression and started losing leaves and branches until he was unrecognizable. By the grace of Great Spirit, a shaman was walking along the same path and came upon Leafy Green, not looking much like his original self. With eyes of great vision, she recognized him and also knew the medicine that he needed. Love. All you need is love. Love is all you need. She wrapped her arms around him, sending deep love from his roots to his crown. Almost as if by magic, the tree began to regenerate itself. New leaves and branches appeared. Ground cover spread under the tree. Hikers enjoyed the beauty and health offered by the tree. And by opening his heart, chakra, and big healthy leaves, he attracted an amazing group of sacred beings who gathered under the shelter of his love. They gathered under his shelter week after week, but they decided that they needed more space. While he was thriving, The group began clearing the land and all the trees around him until he was alone. But then all the birds cried and landed on the tree's limbs, and the forest woodland deer started crunching on its leaves, and the bunnies and the fox and even Mr. Mole found a burrow beneath the mighty tree. The once scared beings had turned dark, causing the tree to wither again. And in his loneliness and despair, he beckoned to the shaman to return and save him again. The shaman returned and agreed to save him on one condition. He must cycle daily to the bottom of the tree's roots and back up to the top of the branch. After many years, he finally realized the roots and the branches of the tree were just reflections of one another, and at last he was freed from the never-ending cycle. One day, the tree named Sam felt a tingling in its leaf tips and a shimmering in its roots that were thicker than my forearm. Love, love, love. The air plants that grew on his limbs were like jewelry that delighted all who saw him. He was bedazzled in reds, purples, pinks, and oranges that made him feel so very special. Isn't that lovely? Oh my gosh. That must have been done by all of the people at the back of the flea market.
I think both, yeah, because so I tried to separate people's lines by the spaces. So for counting here, it looks like there's 15 people here.
Yeah, I think I was at the beginning, so it
Yeah, so
started
there's
up
a
on
lot of,
our.
I think like 30 people contribute to this one. So.
I think I'm the
Oh.
one that gave him the fungus.
You gave him the fungus. You gave him the fungus. Well, so what you're saying is that when you do this and when people read this on Facebook, now what is it called in Facebook for people to go and find it?
They can go to Cats by Linda or to the Mowers Saturday, Sunday flea market. That's what.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, so that there are two places. Oh, so you have your own Facebook page.
I do, and I only have 80 followers so far. If you'd like to follow me, please do. I also post cat pictures too.
Oh, I definitely will follow you. Very, very definitely. Actually, I probably won't be able to find you, but you could find me, Thurman Greco. If you find me, well, I can try.
I can find you.
Facebook is not my strong suit. It's not my, it's not my strong suit. And I have a blog, and I send it out to Blue Sky and Alignable and Facebook and LinkedIn, and I don't know, somebody sent me a thing for Instagram, and I can't make it work. It's just not, it's okay. I do a lot of things. I just, if it's a machine, I don't know. Now,
So we were gonna do some improvisational stuff tonight. so
oh,
I
are we
don't
going to
know
do
if
improvisational?
Yeah. If you'd
What
like
is
to.
improvisational?
I don't know, Linda's gonna
At
explain
least
it to
one.
us, what
So
we're gonna
it's
do.
really, we can do the same thing except verbally. So
Okay.
we can tell a story together,
Okay,
one line at a time.
okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you thought about that. I
That was
didn't.
Linda's
I didn't
idea.
realize what that was for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, before we started today's interviews, we wrote down some words and I gave them some ideas. So we'll just pick one from each pile and we'll have to incorporate it into the story. So,
It doesn't all have to be in the same sentence, though, right?
no, not in the same sentence, but our job, because now that we're experienced storytellers, I think we can.
We're experienced storytellers?
Yeah, we've been doing this, yeah, definitely, 100%. Yeah, if you could write a line in here, we can do this.
Listen, I'm not the story, I'm the story reader. I'm the story reader. Okay.
So this is slightly
I'm
more
gonna step
advanced.
up to the plate, I'm
Yeah,
gonna do
we
it.
can do it, yes.
Yes.
So we'll get one from each Well, let's start with, we'll tell one story first, and we'll just try to use 2 prompts, and then we'll work our way up to 4, just to
Okay.
make it easier.
Okay,
So we each take 2 from,
So
one from
One from
2
each. So
different
why don't
stacks?
you take one from here, and then why don't you take one from here?
Okay.
and then I'll take one from here,
Yeah,
okay?
and then
The kitchen.
the kitchen. And
Lollipop.
Lollipop,
Oh,
okay.
lollipops, okay.
So now we have to come up with a story that includes both the kitchen and lollipop.
Are you gonna take one too?
No, let's keep it simple for the first
Okay.
story, and then we'll
Keep
do
it-
it again.
okay,
Yeah,
there
just
you
we'll warm
go.
up, you know, that's how you do it, you gotta warm up, not make it too hard.
Okay, so you want me to start?
Yeah,
A young boy walked into a candy store.
he walked into the candy store and he decided that what he wanted was a lollipop. Actually, he wanted 2 lollipops because he wanted one to eat and then one to take home and keep in the kitchen for tomorrow.
The lollipop that caught his eye the most was a giant 4-foot lollipop that had gold trim and red and blue in the middle, and there was only one of them.
But he couldn't afford to buy that one because he only had $2, and that particular lollipop was much more expensive.
So what he did was he looked around and nobody was paying any attention. So all of a sudden, it was gone. It was gone out the front door
Yeah, and
toward the kitchen.
he felt bad about stealing the lollipop, so he went back to his own kitchen and made some more for the candy shop. The end. There we go. It's easy, right?
Yeah,
It doesn't
that was
have to be
easy.
So
long.
those 2 we used.
Is that too easy? Well, now we can pick from one from each pile. So let's pick from, you can pick 2 from here and you can pick 2 from here. And we just have to incorporate 4 things.
Oh, I picked my own.
Okay.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, pizza.
Smile and...
I picked my own again.
Oh, that's okay. Flea market.
Flea market and smile.
Pizza and Thomas.
Okay,
Okay, and we can keep this in front of us so we remember.
Okay.
Because now it's getting to be a few things, right, we need to incorporate.
And you start
Okay.
this one, Thurman.
I start this one.
I started the last one.
Can you put this down here so I can see too?
He was at the flea market smiling at all of the fun things that he was seeing early that morning as the vendors were setting up the merchandise.
Thomas was eating a pizza as he was watching them set up.
And the pizza was so good that he couldn't help but smile with the joy that he was having enjoying his slice of pizza.
He was so happy with it that he attracted the attention of some of the vendors.
And pretty soon, everybody was eating pizza.
Call it the end, the end. I think that's the end there.
The end, the end. The end, the end. So that's how you do improv?
Yeah, that's it. You know, it's just all about keeping it moving along, you know. A lot of the activities I do with my students, they're all very simple. But there's also a lot of room for interpretation, right? So there's different ways that we could have done this, and we could have kept that story going longer and shorter. With, you know, a big part of it, it's about working with your partners. So that's the most important thing if you're doing improv with people. And I think we all did that, right?
We did. So that's how it works at the flea market, except we write it down.
Yeah.
You know, that's fun though, because when you write it down, now do these get read anywhere at the end of the day, or do we wait? What happened to these at the end of the day last summer?
Well, each week I type it up and then I put it on the clipboard right under the news sheet where people are
So they get to read. Oh, we only have 2 minutes. Listen, what do you have to say with 2 minutes?
Come to the Historical Society. There's lots of cool stuff there. All the vendors have really cool stuff. It helps support the Historical Society. It's December 6th, 7th, and December 13th and 14th. And also I'm going to be down at Walk Hill River School in Montgomery on this December 6th.
And how about you? You're going to be going to so many places. Are you posting?
Yes.
Are you posting a list of where people can find you?
Definitely. It's on my website, Cats by Linda. So you can either go to catsbylinda.com or go to Facebook and Instagram. It's all up there. And I do have one thing I want to say to everyone is, go do stuff. It doesn't have to be art, but doing stuff is important and fun and good, I think.
And come and join us at the flea market next summer. And thank you very, very much. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you.
You're such
Thank
a
you, Ellen.
fabulous trooper. Thank you.